Welcome, fans. Now we've got a chance for our State Farm starting lineups. First for the Heat, Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. And the man in the middle from UNLV, Joel Anthony. He's a big part of that presence down low. Then it's LeBron James, and it's Bosh in at the 4. And for Toronto, Calderon and DeRozan are the guards. And the big man in the middle playing center, Bargnani. They look to him to provide that necessary presence down low. Then it's Klaiza, and it's Johnson in at the 4-man position. Here's LeBron. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. LeBron's now got the first points of the night for the Heat.
When you look at the Raptors' struggles over the last 3 seasons, it's pretty simple. It comes back to defense. They're a fast team. They like to get up and down the floor, but they're giving up so many easy hoops defensively.
Well, that was a quick foul for him there. The refs are certainly calling it close.
Here's Bargnani. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
You know, for a guy his size, he doesn't play above the rim very often like he did on that slam.
Still got some power behind him, though.
Yeah, I mean, you let him get in close like that, he'll throw one down hard on you.
And, Steve, the Raptors defensively, as you were talking about, not that good. In fact, the worst in the NBA in defensive efficiency. Clark, 2 years running.
And, I mean, Kevin, somebody has to be the worst in the league, but that's not where you want to loiter. I mean, you want to get out of that particular title. Improving defensively is really the beginning of that.
Klaiza misses.
Now you can see why the defense is willing to let him take that shot. That's really not his range.
Look at how he hung on the basket after that dunk. A little extra flair there.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get slapped with a technical foul there, Clark.
Right now we're going to go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. What'd you find out, Doris?
Kevin, adding a few more pump fakes is what he is instructing his inside players to do. They are facing a good shot-blocking team, and if they can keep them guessing on when to jump, they'll be in a better position to get uncontested looks at the hoop. Not an easy thing to do with a shot blocker hanging around, Kevin.
Wonderful stuff, Doris. Thanks. What approach to use against the opposing D, I guess, in the front of their minds, it sounds like, Clark.
Yeah, well, it's a tall task when you take on a team as sound defensively as they are, so you just have to be sharp in your execution.
Steve?
Yeah, you got to be sharp, but you also have to attack. I mean, if you're not aggressive against this team, they're going to take control of you, and all of a sudden, they'll have control of the game.
James gets the bucket. LeBron's now got 7.
Well, you've got to get the ball out of his hands, bring an extra defender, and force somebody else to beat you.
I agree with you. Make him give it up.
And the way you want to guard Dwayne Wade is make him a shooter. Even though he can knock down shots from there, you've got to just hope that he misses, because if he gets to the rim, it's pretty much automatic.
Here is Calderon. Now Bargnani. And Bosh picks him up defensively. Here's Klaiza. Good on the triple. Going back to guarding, defending Dwayne Wade, there really is no way to win against him as a defender. He's going to find a way to hurt you. It may take some time, but he's going to get you.
You know, going back to what Steve said, you got to make it tough for him and hope he misses some of the shots, and then try to keep him out of transition as best you can. And hope he has a bit of an off night. Otherwise, he's dropping buckets on you now. That's a given.
Now here's Calderon after LeBron James's miss. Now, here is Bargnani. Tight defense on him. And Bosh picks him up defensively. Clock at 6. Here's Calderon. And it's good from the elbow. Calderon's got his first points of the night.
Guys, you're not going to get away with that kind of defense when he's got the ball. I mean, you got to do better than that.
Well, the big story, of course, a year ago for Miami was the formation of the big three, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And although it took some time for those three to click, eventually they figured it out. Boy, that takes a lot of strength to finish a play like that while you're getting fouled.
Boy, and he had it on display right there, partner. I mean, that was muscle, that was strength on display finishing that shot.
Here's what Toronto's going with right now. Ed Davis is checked in for Johnson. And Jared Bayless subbed in for Jose Calderon. Dwayne Wade's checked in for Miami. Steve, back to what you said about Miami. They struggled out of the gate. They were 9-8, but after a rough November, they kicked it on in December. And Clark, I think really the game that kind of spun them around was their first LeBron appearance in Cleveland in a win early December against the Kings.
Yeah, that was an impressive win. I recall that. That was almost like an NBA Finals type atmosphere in terms of the media attention and so forth. But in that month, they went 15-1 and really seemed to find their rhythm and, quite honestly, never looked back.
Here is Bayless. Covered by Miller. Jumper off the screen. He squares up and sinks it.
Ran him right off the tough pick there, and that freed him up for the J.
Shot to stop the run. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. Wade's got 3 assists in the game. Here is Bayless. Wade gets called for the reach. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2.
It was an eventful season for Jared Bayless. I mean, traded from the Blazers to the Hornets and then to the Raptors less than a month later. But he was excited to end up in Toronto where he could get more playing time, and he produced.
Sonny Weems checks in for Toronto. Barbosa comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And a switch here also for Miami. Eddie House has checked in for Dwayne Wade. And Clark, Jared Bayless finished last season very strong. Playing starters minutes over the last 2 weeks like you talked about. He averaged over 22 points and 5 assists. Steve, he really shot the ball well.
Yeah, that's his 3rd team in Toronto, so it's important for Bayless to establish something now. The way he finished the season is the way Toronto would like to see him start this year.
And Toronto has possession after the Heat pick up 2. Barbosa kicks to Davis. Back to Barbosa. Davis with a screen on Miller. Feeds to Weems. He's picked up by LeBron. And again, no good by Toronto.
That's a tough one there because he's wide open. That's a shot he expects to make.
From the low block. And it's Miami with another.
Good things happen when he's working like that, fellas.
Here's Bayless. Cannot hit. Offense, the order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. Here is Barbosa.
Well, Miami had such a turbulent season last year as far as the drama that surrounded that team. But they were consistent and steady on the road, and they ended up with the best away record in the Eastern Conference.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Guys, Chris Bosh has always been on the slender side for an NBA big man. He said, quote, "I guard guys every day feeling like I wish I was that big, but I'm not going to try to be something I'm not. One thing I've learned, just be who you are. I can help this team more by just playing my game. I can shoot the basketball. I work off mismatches. That's what I've always done." And guys with great dribble penetrators like LeBron and D. Wade, a face-up 4-man like Bosh, probably a better fit than the type that's going to clog up the paint.
Yeah, his great skill level has always been his edge. Thanks, Doris. And back to Miami, you know, Clark, road trips aren't easy when you're the villains of the NBA, and there's no doubt that wanted poster in the NBA has got a picture of that Miami threesome up there, huh?
I agree, no doubt about it, but I think that also helped them come together. You know, teams typically do a good job of bonding when they're on the road. That us against them mentality, nobody fool you, and quite honestly, really good teams and players enjoy winning on the road more than they do even winning at home.
Some changes for Toronto. Bargnani is checked in for Davis. Linus Kleza comes in for Sonny Weems, and it's Calderon in for Jared Bayless. And then for Miami, Chris Bosh is checked in for Haslam. LeBron comes in for Dwayne Wade, and Mike Miller subbed in for Eddie House. Now, here is Bargnani. And here comes the break. Leans inside. No good from LeBron.
You know, there were questions about how LeBron would play in a new jersey. Statistically, he was about the same with the drop in points and a higher field goal percentage. He's a brilliant player no matter what uniform he's got on.
Barbosa kicks to Bargnani. And easy 2 points on the layup. Bargnani's got his second basket.
Boy, that is a sweet feed from his teammate there.
talking more about LeBron's stats. You're all over it, Clark. Steals, assists, blocks, rebounds, all look the same way they did in his last year with Cleveland. I guess, Steve, the difference is he played with another superstar. In fact, two if you put Bosh in there, and it was something that he was really aiming for, and it paid off.
Yeah, LeBron was never concerned about numbers. It's always been about winning, and I think he wanted to find some teammates that he could pair up with, and give him credit. I mean, he found a great spot in Miami. He's got a lot of talent around him. The numbers will always be there, but the big thing is winning, and he just wants to win rings, and that's why he made his choice.
Pushes up. He kicks it to Miller. Some nice passing. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two.
And the knock on Chris Bosh is that he's not a powerful low-post player. He's really a finesse big, not so much a bruiser. But very skilled and quick, and he can face up and knock down a jump shot.
You know, you talk about Bosh and how he's been knocked in terms of who he is and what he does. His slim build is part of that. I think that really made Miami's need for a quality center even more glaring, the fact that he's not really a power player. Every team needs some length and muscle inside to be at its best.
And the Raptors call time here.
Well, last season was a tough one for Toronto Raptors fans. They managed just 16 wins in front of their home fans, and even for losing teams. If you can win at home, that's a starting point. That's an area they have to improve upon.
The Heat making a switch here. Wade's checked in. Now here's Calderon. DeRozan. Wade is covering. And again, no good by Toronto. And for these Toronto fans, it's got to be tough, Steve, seeing a franchise player like Chris Bosh leave town and watch the team rebuild. And it's, you know, Clark, going to be quite a rebuilding project.
Yeah, but at the same token, Kevin, I mean, Bosh had 8 seasons there, and he only had 3 playoff wins to show for it. He and the Raptors, they just didn't have the pieces to get over the hump to get to that next level. At some point, you've got to hit that refresh button.
I can't argue with that. LeBron, he's checked in for the Heat.
Into the lineup for the Heat, LeBron James.
A minute 50 left in the first half of the game. Johnson against Bosh. Chris Bosh with the rebound.
And that's the way it's been. A big margin for them in the rebounding category.
You know, sometimes you got to get down and dirty and do the dirty work. And in this one, they've done it, and it's paid off on the scoreboard in a big way. Spoelstra was in a really odd and tough position last season. Never before had there been a bigger free agent talent swing, and he was tasked with getting 3 huge superstars to mesh as a unit. He's done a nice job.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Well, Kevin, Toronto had to endure the loss of yet another superstar as last summer Chris Bosh exited. The trend of big stars leaving Toronto includes the likes of Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, now Bosh, Hedo Turkoglu is also a player that got away. The fans above the border hoping that the same thing doesn't happen with their emerging group of youngsters on the roster now. We'll see, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Toronto has had some tough breaks in the free agent market.
You know, you hate to see a city lose so much talent, but I think they'll be able to rebound from it.
Back to Spoelstra because he was the first coach, Steve, to deal with that much talent. He had some very unique situations pop up along that road.
Well, he sure did, Kevin, and he had to coach that team under a microscope all season long. The basketball world was watching, and that Miami team went through some ups and downs, but in the end, I think Erik Spoelstra did a fantastic job, and he looks to be one of the bright young coaches in this league.
And Toronto has possession. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Anthony against Davis. DeRozan. It's blocked. Now here is Miller. Wade passes to LeBron. Here's Bosh. What an amazing buzzer beater.
Boy, how about that? You want to talk about cool?